never take for no hours.
I know we ain't taking
I
no
say, hold on, an hour? What?
How you doing?
That would be me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing fine. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing great.
Man, do you know I live for this moment right here?
Really?
I live for this moment right here.
I've been missing this moment.
And no, let's not go there. We live for this moment because we now know. Look how we feel when that red light goes on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kicks away all the missing.
It does. Makes wonderful.
It does. It's like I feel like if I just impact that one person's life, or something said, God inspired through me, just does something for that person.
It's well worth it.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, I feel like we do this special like for one person every week.
Right.
Like there's one person every week that that needs our conversation, and we're here for it.
Exactly. Remind me to ask about that name too. Okay.
All right.
That's crazy. That
Yeah,
could be a sign. Oh, you never mind. Never mind. That's a whole other subject. Anyway, today.
Well,
nah, you know what? Perfect segue to what we were just talking about. How we miss. We miss because we were feeding the rats. Yeah. I know I found a way to do it.
What? Say this again.
We hadn't been in production, what, a week?
Wait.
Yeah, for a week. Father's Day, blah, blah, blah. Oh, thank y'all very much. So with that, when we were opened up, we were talking about how we missed, and he was about to say how he missed it. But I was reflecting on how we feel now that we're back. Like, it's a whole totally different feeling. Y'all don't understand it. It's like when that camera goes on, or we come together to get ready to do this show, it's like, no matter what I've been through for the whole week, it totally gets, those feelings and emotions get erased for this.
Mm-hmm.
So, the topic is feeding the rats.
You can't get rid of the rats if you're feeding
them.
And I feel like this still goes back on to our discussion that we've been having on Faith and Fear.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I said. Perfect segue. I feel the same way.
Yes. Warren was talking about his soon to be ex apartment building. And he was mentioning that there's a waste.
Like,
there's a waste.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna say what y'all can't say right now because I felt somebody say that. Damn, did he just rant and rave about getting in the place?
He was talking about the waste management setup they have there, and he was mentioned to me yesterday on the phone that there's a lot of rats around the garbage can. And people, instead of throwing their garbage inside the can, the dumpster, they throw it on the outside because of the rats. But in order for them to get rid of the rats, they can't feed the rats by throwing it on the outside. So it's like they're counteracting their progress that they're trying to do.
It's kind of like a cause and a cure. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a cause and a cure. The trash is the cause, but it can be the cure of the rats if they just throw it all in the dumpster as opposed to putting it on the ground. But I get it. So
I stole the subject from him because he was going to use it
as a Warren Wisdom Wednesday. But
So,
it's okay.
So we decided we're going to discuss it. He still can discuss it on Warren because he'll put a new spin on it after our discussion tonight.
Okay.
Very well.
I can't do my head.
But again, let's think about this on our day-to-day lives. We feed the exact thing that we're trying to get rid of,
Which would be the rats.
and it could be we feed it in different ways. If it's
Let's before you go to the feeding in different ways. Let's break it down for them. The rat could be a symbolism of anything that you're feeding or anything that you're giving energy to that you're trying to get away from or that you don't want to have any ties to anymore. The
Your
job
personal
you're
sin.
on. Yeah. Any you could put anything in that realm of the rat. Anything can be the rat.
Mhm.
And if you keep giving it energy, feeding it, it's gonna do what? I mean, just like you feed a baby, it grows. Just like you feed a human, it grows. Just like you feed a plant, it grows. So if you keep feeding the rat, whatever the problem, whatever it is, it's pointed to that problem, and whatever you're doing to feed it, it's gonna continue to grow.
exactly we and depending on what your rat is, depends on what kind of food it takes. So
I like the way you spent that. That's dope.
because cats eat cat food.
That's right.
Dogs have the scraps off of the master's table.
That's right.
That's for you, Mario. But so, if we're trying to get rid of something, we gotta starve it.
Wow, I like that.
We got to actually starve that.
That rat.
entity.
That
Whatever.
rat. Yeah, whatever that rat entity problem situation.
Let's make a rat real quick. Let's eat a lot of junk food.
So the rat would be eating a lot of junk food.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with this. Go ahead. Yeah, 'cause this is gonna slap you in the face.
I already got that.
That was funny how that came so quick.
I wasn't gonna get
It reached right around me. Boom.
So you put yourself in certain positions where you're forced into eating junk food
Mm-hmm.
because no, mind you, I have my stashes of junk food around the house.
Okay.
But if I eat a balanced meal, I'll never go to the junk food.
Okay.
But once I decide not to eat that balanced meal, I'm subject to eating junk food a lot of times. So, what happens to get me not to eat that balanced meal? Staying up late. I'm not gonna go cook. I'm not gonna go cook in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that does it, if I decide I was gonna go drinking,
Mm-hmm.
I get alcohol in me.
Yes, we drink.
I gotta be honest with you. Yes, mother, I drink in the comforts of my own home.
Hey, Mama. He said it. I didn't know. We were talking about you earlier, Mama. Go ahead.
When you start drinking, you have that laziness feeling. You don't have as much steadiness on your feet, so you're not gonna go cooking.
Yeah,
So you just go pull out some
potato chips. Yeah.
And the other thing that feeds it is you actually buying it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't have it, you don't have it. So if you go get something that's more healthier for you,
Cashews.
it will keep you from indulging in that rat.
Mm-hmm.
So think about what your rat is. So it is. Come on, this is interactive. Come on, you can say this out loud. There's no one else around. Come on.
Got you.
There's another one. Yep, that one right there.
That one that just said shopping. See,
So-
my hand itching. Yeah, they shop good too. I'm coming to go shopping with you.
So how do you feed that rat?
by spending money that you don't necessarily have, going to buy those clothes.
If it's
or whatever
shopping, you
you're
know,
buying is shopping.
keep your credit cards at home.
No, you
Oh.
ask how do they feed it? How do they not? How do they starve it? Would be by leaving their stuff at home. How they're feeding it is going to buy this whatever they're going to
Well,
buy.
well,
That's
if
feeding,
you don't have that self control and just window shop,
Even still, you're still feeding
Yeah.
that rat.
you're
that
giving
thing.
yourself that
Right.
that
To
ability.
starve it would be not to go to the store, leave your
Well,
credit card
well,
at home,
the
don't go
problem
buy
with
it.
that one is you got to turn your internet off too.
Oh, for the people that shop online.
Yes. You have to turn your internet off. Gotta stop looking at ads. Get a pop up blocker.
Okay, let's do it like this. Because I don't know why this just hit me, but you know, every time I say it on camera, it starts to come to fruition, if not to fruition. So let's do this. Earlier he said, in my, what kind of apartment complex? Did you say X apartment complex?
You're soon to be ex.
Okay, he said soon to be X complex. Somebody out there said, wait a minute, didn't he just move? Didn't he just get an apartment? Okay. Rat apartment. How did I feed it? I moved before I should have. And I just discovered this as I was studying, and I felt like I really didn't wait on God to give it to me. I kind of forced my way and because I panicked. Last minute, I panicked. Let's put it like that. That's how I fed the rat. I panicked. How is the rat being fed? Not being fed. What's the result of feeding the rat? The neighbor upstairs is nasty. She has a cover that hangs from her balcony down to the porch of the mother. So when it rains, it gets wet and it just drips down on my patio. She smokes cigarettes and she throws them down, just flicks them off of the banister and they fall off. Her kids she keeps her trash on her porch, so the kids are on the porch and they just throw stuff over the porch thinking, that's the humor for them. Them running around. Here's the thing, I know I live in an apartment, so I do know that noise is inevitable. So I'm not, as far as the kids running around, that don't bother me.
Mhm.
And they sound like they're coming through the floor sometimes, but that don't bother me. I got grandchildren. I had kids once, so I can imagine what people thought when my 3 boys would run through the house. And you just can't make a kid sit still just because they're at home and they're, So I get that part. I'm more on the nastiness and the trash and stuff that's being thrown from over the balcony. The one man next door has a dog. Don't get me wrong, that man clean up after his dog, but I have a slight little fear of dogs. So it's like, to see that big old dog, every time he brings it out, I go one way and let them go the other, or I'll wait till they pass and then I'll go the way I need to go. So that's how the rat is eating and getting bigger than the dumpster, amongst some things that's broken in the apartment that I can't get the leasing office to come fix. I done put in a request and for some reason it just doesn't get fulfilled. So everything's full, everything's fed, the rat is full. How do I starve the rat? I move.
No, you seek after the actual promised land. See you.
Well, can I say this then? Would I be fair in saying, because I hear somebody asking why I felt like I jumped the gun if, all that time I was looking for an apartment. I feel like that's what they're saying. And you got this apartment, how did you jump the gun? I jumped the gun because if you had known where I lived prior to living here, I felt like the bar was set there. I shouldn't have never below it again. I shouldn't have had to go below it. I mean, income hasn't been disrupted or anything like that. I was paying a certain amount there that I could have found something just as equivalent to where I was living. Instead, I went below that. Not saying that that's beneath me or anything like that, because I mean, again, if it wasn't for her and her issues inside the apartment, I'm okay with it, even though there's things happening inside the apartment that I may have to call code enforcement for, just to see if it's okay. But outside of that, again, those issues were not had in the apartment complex that I lived in. But then the ceiling leak there. So again, it's like, for me, I felt like the last apartment set a bar, and I just honestly felt like I went below that bar instead of going at that bar or above. And anytime God progresses you, hence the word progression, means each step should be better. Just like before Joey got his home, he lived in an apartment, and he told me, you know, I'm looking for a home. Next thing I know, I'm coming to a home, and he progressed. I digress. So that's how
there was symptoms on there.
What do you mean?
I felt like I might have jumped the gun too, but on there was I was kicked out of. I was actually evicted out of my last apartment.
Okay.
They evicted me the same day I moved into this one. That's all y'all.
But do you? But okay. Let's tackle that and keeping it in the concept of the point we're getting across about the rat. I mean,
I was.
How do we not know fate was not the premise for getting you evicted so that you can progress
It pushed me.
and starve
gave
that
push.
rat over there because
Well,
you kept feeding that rat over there.
Yeah, I pay rent.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
But the thing was, I had paid rent, and they evicted me because they evicted me because I was on a month tomorrow and did not sign again.
Okay.
Well, actually, they told me they wasn't going to offer me to sign again.
Okay.
I had caused some problems with their management. I called code enforcement also.
I'm about to mention yeah.
Because of things that was happening. But in turn, it did help starve that rat quicker.
Mm-hmm.
It forced that rat to be changed. And we have to learn that we have to know when our promise is ready. There's a house
Good
for
point.
you. There's a house for you.
Okay.
And it's still out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming to you. We just gotta we went across the Red Sea. We might have to waddle through the Jordan River, but we're gonna make it over to that promise. We're gonna make it over to that promised land.
Okay.
As long as we don't murmur and complain, our journey will be easy.
Y'all know me. Y'all know I'll say what he won't. Murmur and complain. Here's you, Joe. You've been on me for a minute. It ain't too much. I'll complain or.
I'm not.
No. It ain't too much. I'll complain or. But when I speak on something, that's me letting individuals, people around me, things around me know I'm kind of fed up. It's not so much as a complaint, and I'm not taking. Let me clear this up, y'all. I'm not taking it that he's saying that I'm complaining and murmuring about anything, because he's been there and he's seen what I'm talking about, and it's one of those things where I hear what he's saying about the murmur and complaining. I'll say it, and then I'm done with it. Anybody can come. My sons can come and tell you. My ex-wife can come and tell you. I got friends outside of him that'll come and tell you all. Once I mention it like that, it's a wrap. And guess who heightened it? Is he watching? Mario? Okay. Well, I'm about to give him a quick shout out for it, because remember that day we were sitting up front, and I asked him that question. He heightened that for me. He brought me back to that to let me know. Like he said, I mean, once he says it, he's done with it. And so I'll put it out there. Just know when you hear me saying, like I'm saying now, like Joey even said, X apartment complex, you hear me saying, it's I'm at my wits on that. Just know, the next step for me, you won't hear no talking. Next thing you'll start hearing is, oh, he looking. If he asks, oh, I'm looking for a stack, blah blah blah.
Can I stop you right
Yeah,
there?
go ahead.
Because that's a perfect example of what the difference between murmuring and complaining is, and other than stating your reason.
Exactly.
If I was taught by a pastor of mine, if you have a problem, if you see a problem, spiritually or physically, obviously there's a reason why you saw that. And if you come to, he said, if you come to him with the problem, come with the solution also, and just and let it be a discussion instead of a complaint department. And that's the difference between being murmuring and complaining. Murmuring and complaining is, I just don't like you having that hat on.
Why don't you move?
If I didn't like that hat, let me go buy another hat.
Going too hard. I don't want to drink out that cup. I don't like the way it looks. I totally get it.
That's what the murmuring and the complaining is. I don't want people to stop saying things that are an issue. Address your issues, but address it with a solution ready to go.
That's just where I was going.
Or if you don't have a solution, note that. Warn. I don't like your hat.
And what would be your solution? Because I'm not taking it off.
I don't want you to take it off. I just want you to get it there for me. So here's the gift certificate to go by.
Hey, like I said, he's brought my solution because I seen him do his hand like this. Because he knows that. I mean, we joke around like that, but those are real life issues, people. If you're having this rat, quit murmuring, complaining. I'm gonna say, quit blaming other folks for your rats because you're feeding them.
Oh,
quit feeding your own
that hurts.
rats.
You kind of stepped on my foot.
I'm sorry.
And I ain't got no shoes on right now.
I'm so sorry. Because that's basically what it is. And the day Mario told me that, it changed my life. Because it was just like, you know what? He right. I'm giving it the energy and the power and not giving the energy and the power to where it's due diligent in the faith that's due diligent to get me out of the situation.
I like that. I like that point right there. But you know what I want to say? Let's stop this. Let's go on.
Ooh, the after party, because I get to talk like I want